Hello, my name is Marta. I'm very glad you're here. Thank you for spending this time with me. Today we are gonna create a reading journal spread and I'm gonna talk you through it. So it's gonna be a little bit of a chatty one. Usually with my reading spreads, I tend to organize them in the same way and structure them in the same way. And I have been doing this for the first time this year in 2025, and I have stuck through this structure throughout the year so far. So I start getting a ruler. Here we go. And I create a divide. And I always do the same. It's 9 spaces. And then I just draw a line where I'm gonna put the information. Oops, I don't think that worked. These pens are not great. Better than messy. Yeah, so in this part I'm gonna put the information that relates to the book or details I'm interested in capturing, and then all of this is gonna be decoration as well as journaling about the book. So let's start with the title. The one I'm gonna be discussing today is called Tenderly I Am Devoured, and it's a new 2025 release. So let me write that down. This is the first thing I do. I put the title with this bold pilot. And then what I do is I put the name of the author, which in this case is Lyndall Clipstone. What I do next is I put the year it was published. In this case is 2025, as well as the genre, which is fantasy. And this year I decided to start tracking or rating the books using the compile system. And the compile system is a system that supports you kind of breaking down how you feel about the book. So C stands for characters, A for atmosphere, W for writing, P for plot, I for intrigue, L for logic, E for enjoyment, and then you total them out. So you rate all these different 7 aspects on a scale from 0 to 10. And then at the end, it's gonna give you, you divide it by 7 and it's gonna give you the rating for that book. And I will put the link of the creator of this rating system. I have been finding it useful this year. We'll see if I continue it next year, but this one has been useful. And then what I like to do as well is to add the format. I consumed the book, so in this case was audiobook. And then I also like to add the narrators. And I will have to check that one. The narrator was Sarah Ovens. And then here I will print the cover later on. The reason why I picked this book is because I thought the title was stunning and the cover as well. It has 2 different covers. I do like both of them, but there's one that doesn't have the characters in the cover, or it's more subtle. That's the one I'm gonna put in here. I think that's the one I'm gonna go with. Right, so that's the information. Let me change the perspective. Okay, we're back, and now is on to decorating the page. And I don't usually match the cover, that I still don't have, but I don't usually match the cover to the decoration because I feel like that adds a lot of pressure for me. And if I was to always much cover to decoration, I'd find that I always am in need of more decoration and I'm always lacking things. So I'd rather not doing it that way. I'd rather just going with what feels right today. So today, what I'm thinking, the paper as a base that I want to use is this one. Just because I'm feeling like these colors, I'm feeling like muted colors today. And there's different ones I can be using. Let's see which is the one that speaks most to me today. This one I like. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this choice. So what I often tend to do is just put some decoration in this corner, and then have space to have space to write the rest of the page. And usually I do like to tear the paper, so that's what I'm gonna do now. I don't overthink. Again, if I was to overthink, I wouldn't do anything. So I'm just playing it by ear, what feels right. I have a few techniques that I keep going back to. It's what works. It's part of my style, if you will, or way of scrapbooking, and I'm comfortable with that. So this is what I have so far, and I usually like to layer. So what I'm thinking is that something needs to go behind this paper to produce a layer, and it needs to be something plain. And I'm saying that this is like craft paper color, these ones, and I have craft paper, so I might try to see how that works. So I have this color, which is not very crafty paper, and then I have this other one. There's a lot here. This other one, and probably it goes best. This is my favorite one. This is my favorite color of craft paper, and this came with a package, so I didn't purchase this paper specifically. I purchased whatever it is that came with the package. Yeah, and I think I'm just gonna rip it as well. Well, actually, first I'm gonna glue it. I always use a spare paper to glue on top of, so I don't make a mess of the desk. So I'm gonna first glue this one. I'm happy with this choice. And I'm gonna glue it just here. I'm gonna follow the straight line. There you go. And then this allows me to grip with more precision, if you will. Even though I do believe what I like about this hobby is that there's no right or wrong way to do things. There's no right or wrong way to scrapbook. And with some of my spreads, sometimes I'm happier than with others, but that's completely fine. Let me cut this bit. There's still no right or wrong way, and there's zero pressure. This is something I do to unwind. This is something that allows me to recharge. It relaxes me, and that's what matters. There we go. I think that's better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue these two now. There we go. I personally like symmetry between the two pages most of the time, at least. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same with this. So I'm gonna get the craft paper. And I'm gonna glue this bit first. I find that having that symmetry creates more, it makes it look more purposeful, the page. It doesn't mean it's the only way to do it, of course. It's just what I personally gravitate towards. Let me trim this for ease. Yeah. And then let's tear. Okay. And then let's glue. Let me make sure actually. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, perfect. So those are the papers I'm gonna be using. This feels like a very big chunk. I do love it, but I want to put some stickers or something along this part. So let me check what I have. Well, I just opened my drawer and I found this. See, sometimes I wish they were bigger, some of these papers, because I feel like it could work, but not really. But maybe they could work on the edges. Okay, we'll see. I just saw them and I was like, oh, I have to use this. But for something to put here and here, I was thinking something along these lines. So I have these stickers that I bought a while ago. Just even something like this, it makes it more dynamic. She's an old soul with young eyes, a vintage heart and beautiful mind. Okay, that could work. This is a reference, not a reference, but it relates to the If We Were Villains book. The Secret History. Oh, I kind of like this one. And I think this will match with... I don't like the white around it. But I think this will match with the cover I will put. We'll see. This can work as well. This also... Oh, okay, I do like... I don't like how much white there is around it, but also I'm not gonna cut around it. I could, but I'm not going to. Okay, so I think I'll be using these three for now. Let me stick them. Yeah. And this one here. Great. And I'm still debating these two. I'm still debating how I feel about these two. You know what, I might leave them. Do I want to? Just put a triangle instead of the whole thing? Let me see, I will check. As in, do I want to... But yeah, do I want to put it like this? Yes, I think so. Rather than having just... That works. And probably I will put a border around it to make it seem more intentional as well. So let's glue. And with these two, I think I'm gonna not go all the way to the border. With this, I did. But with these two, I will leave a little bit of a margin. Why? because I feel like it. there's no reason behind it. I just find it's gonna look more pleasing somehow to leave a little bit of a border. There you go. Good. And then I will draw myself, yeah, border around it. What color? Probably gray. I have this set of markers. I've had them for a while, and I find it useful because there's a lot of colors, but also I like to write in different colors when I write about the books, and they have this kind of tip, but also they have this kind of tip. So I do enjoy all the different options they give me. So this is what I'm gonna do. Again, I'm not overthinking, just going with it. And I think I want to add maybe more of a pinkish color to it. And what I have is a swatch that I do recommend. So here's a swatch of all the different colors with the numbers. And what I'm looking for is maybe number 52. Where are you? 52. There you go. All right. I think in terms of decoration, this seems good enough for me. What I want to do next is start writing, and how I always start my spreads is with the first sentence of the book. And it's just interesting, once you have finished the book, it's interesting to go back to what the first sentence was. And some of them are not very insightful, but others, it's just interesting to see some like Easter eggs or even foreshadowing in that first sentence. So the first sentence in this book was, the pallid swans speared through the settling dusk, across a sky the color of bruised plums. It's not a spoiler, of course, it's just the first sentence. And I just quote it, so quote unquote, and I just write it down in black at the very top. And that allows for consistency as well across spreads. Okay, there you go. And then what I'm gonna start doing next is journaling about the book itself, the plot. And I want to make it very clear, anything I write from now on is gonna contain spoilers. 100% is gonna contain spoilers. The reason why I have a reading journal, the reason why I want to write this down is because I will forget the plot otherwise. So the purpose of me doing this is to write about the plot, write about details of the plot. So in a few months, if I want to remind myself what this book was about, I can come here, read my notes, and remember. So please do not read if you are interested about reading it yourself, the book. Do not read because it's gonna spoil you. What I'm gonna do while I write this down, I will speed this up and I will do a voiceover about what the book is about without spoilers. Just in case that you're wondering if you want to pick him up, just in case that it's the first time you're hearing about it and you might be intrigued, I will do a quick summary of what the book is about without spoilers in the voiceover. This is voiceover Marta coming to you spoiler free. As I mentioned already, Tenderly I Am Devoured is a fantasy book, but it's also YA or young adult. We follow Lark. She is our main character and she has just been expelled from her very prestigious boarding school and she is returning home to her brothers. And when she's back home, she crosses paths with Alistair. Alistair is her neighbor and he broke her heart before she went to school. In order to save her family's legacy, a marriage of convenience is arranged between Lark and a demon. But something goes terribly wrong and Lark, together with Alistair and his sister, need to work together to try and fix what went wrong and make sure that Lark remains in the mortal realm. Okay, and lastly, what I do is just great all these different areas here. So personally, in terms of characters, it was a 6 out of 10 for me. Atmosphere, I'm gonna go 7. Writing, it was fine, 7. Plot, I was not a fan of the plot. I'm gonna go 5. Intrigue, 6. Logic, 6. And enjoyment, I'm gonna go 6. And then I calculate that. I'm not good at math, so here we go. 6 plus 7 plus 7 plus 5 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. That's 43. Divided by 7, it's 6.1. And according to my rating, 6.1 is 3 stars. So what I'm gonna do at the very end is create and fill in the stars with this stencil that has seen better days, but it does the job. 3 wonky stars. There you go, and then I fill them in. Alright, and there you have it. Actually, let me fill them in better. Alright, there you have it. Would I recommend this book personally? No, I'm glad I read it, but I won't be thinking about it. It will soon be forgotten, and that's completely fine, but it might be your kind of book. I hope you enjoy this session. Maybe it inspired you, maybe you were journaling alongside me. Let me know if you have read this book. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Thank you so much for watching, and remember to be kind to yourself.